This episode is for informational and educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new supplement, peptide, or health protocol. Today we're diving into something that almost nobody talks about but absolutely should. Kidney peptides. The most overlooked bioregulator in the entire conversation around longevity, performance, detox, and overall health. When people think about optimizing their body, they usually jump straight to fat loss, muscle building, brain performance, or anti-aging skin. You hear about growth hormone peptides, GLP-1s, NAD, collagen boosters, all of it. But what almost never gets discussed is the foundation that makes all of those systems actually work efficiently. Your kidneys. And not just in a basic way like, oh yeah, they filter blood. We're talking about deep cellular regulation, signaling, and repair at a level that most people completely overlook. So let's break this down in a way that actually makes sense. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering around 180 liters of blood every single day. That's not a typo. 180 liters. They are constantly working, non-stop, removing waste, balancing electrolytes, regulating blood pressure, managing fluid levels, and even influencing hormone systems. Now here's where it gets interesting. When kidney function is even slightly off, everything else starts to suffer. You might not notice it right away. It's not always dramatic, but it shows up in subtle ways. Low energy, brain fog, fluid retention, skin issues, poor recovery, hormonal imbalance, even weight loss resistance. Because if your body can't properly filter and eliminate waste, it starts to hold on to things it shouldn't. And that creates a cascade effect across your entire system. This is where kidney peptides come in. Kidney peptides, also known as renal bioregulators, are short chains of amino acids that are derived from kidney tissue. They act as signaling molecules. Think of them like instructions. They don't force your body to do anything unnatural. They simply remind your cells how to function the way they were designed to. And that's the key difference between bioregulators and a lot of other compounds. They're not overstimulating. They're not replacing a hormone. They're not pushing your body in an aggressive direction. They are restoring communication. So when you introduce kidney peptides into the body, what you're really doing is sending a signal specifically to kidney cells that says, hey, this is what optimal function looks like. Let's get back to that. Now imagine that your kidneys have been under stress for years. Dehydration, high sodium diets, medications, alcohol, environmental toxins, even just normal aging. Over time, those cells don't communicate as efficiently. They don't repair as quickly. They don't filter as effectively. Kidney peptides help reverse that communication breakdown. One of the most well-known kidney bioregulators is often referred to as a cytogen, specifically targeting renal tissue. These are typically used in short cycles, not long-term daily use, because they work by initiating a repair and reset process. And this is where people start to notice some really interesting changes. Improved fluid balance is one of the first things. People who feel puffy or bloated often notice that they look leaner without actually losing weight. That's because their body is finally managing water properly. Energy levels can improve. Not in a stimulant way, but in a clean, steady way. Because when waste products are cleared more efficiently, your cells can function better. Skin can improve. This one surprises people, but it makes sense. Your skin is one of the ways your body tries to eliminate toxins when your primary systems aren't keeping up. When your kidneys are working properly, your skin doesn't have to compensate as much. Blood pressure regulation is another area. The kidneys play a huge role in controlling blood pressure through fluid balance and hormone signaling. Supporting kidney function can help bring things back into a more balanced state. Now let's talk about detox because this is where people get it wrong. Most people think detox means taking something that flushes everything out as fast as possible. That's not actually how your body is designed to work. Your body already has a detox system. It's built in. The liver processes, the kidneys filter, and the body eliminates. The problem is not that you need more detox products. The problem is that your systems are overwhelmed or underperforming. Kidney peptides don't force detox. They optimize the system that already does it. So instead of pushing toxins out aggressively, which can actually make you feel worse, They improve your body's ability to handle the process naturally and efficiently. That's a completely different approach. Now let's connect this to performance and recovery because this is another area where kidney health is quietly controlling outcomes. If you're using peptides for muscle growth, fat loss, or recovery, but your kidneys are not functioning optimally, you're not getting the full benefit. Your body has to process and eliminate the byproducts of those processes. If that system is slow or inefficient, you can feel sluggish, inflamed, or even stalled in your progress. Supporting kidney function can actually enhance the effectiveness of everything else you're doing. It's like upgrading the filtration system in a high-performance engine. Everything runs smoother. There's also a connection to the nervous system that doesn't get talked about enough. The kidneys are closely tied to adrenal function and stress response. Chronic stress can impact kidney performance, and impaired kidney function can make it harder for your body to handle stress. So when you support the kidneys, you're indirectly supporting your ability to regulate stress. Now, let's talk about aging. As we age, kidney function naturally declines. It's a gradual process, but it affects everything from hydration to toxin clearance to nutrient balance. This is one of the reasons why people start to feel more fatigued, more sensitive to medications, and less resilient overall as they get older. Kidney peptides are one of the few tools that specifically target this decline at the cellular level. They're not masking symptoms. They're addressing the root communication issue within the tissue. And that's why they're considered bioregulators. Now here's something important to understand. These peptides are not a quick fix. They're not something you take once, and suddenly everything is perfect. They work over time by gradually improving how your cells function. Most protocols involve short cycles, often a few weeks at a time, followed by breaks. This allows the body to respond and adapt without becoming dependent. And because they're signaling molecules, the effects can continue even after the cycle ends. That's very different from something like caffeine or a stimulant, where the effect disappears as soon as the compound is gone. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why are kidney peptides so overlooked? Part of it is that they're not flashy. They don't promise dramatic, immediate results. They don't fit into the typical marketing narrative of quick transformations. Another reason is that kidney health is often only discussed in the context of disease. People don't think about optimizing their kidneys unless something is already wrong. But the reality is that optimization and prevention are where the real power is. If you wait until there's a problem, you're playing catch-up. If you support these systems early, you create a completely different baseline for your health. There's also a lack of awareness. A lot of people simply don't know these exist. And that's changing slowly, but it's still one of the most underdiscussed areas in the peptide world. Now, let's bring this back to a practical level. If you're someone who is already investing in your health, using peptides, focusing on nutrition, hydration, and recovery, kidney support should absolutely be part of your strategy. It's not the most exciting piece, but it might be one of the most important. Think of it like this. You can have the best inputs in the world, but if your body can't process and eliminate properly, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. Kidney peptides help create the environment where everything else can work better. And that's why they deserve more attention. Before we wrap up, it's important to repeat that this information is not a substitute for medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new protocol, especially if you have existing health conditions or are taking medications. Kidney peptides may not be the most talked about bioregulator, but they might be one of the most foundational. When you support the systems that keep your body balanced, everything else starts to fall into place. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.